Alright. I wasn't sure if I heard any sound. Any desktop sound. Which, funny enough, let's try and fix that now. It's something like every day. There should have 100% been sound. If there wasn't for that intro, sorry. Anyhow, let's move on. Let's get to this culprit here. Which, the camera isn't really high enough. Can we? Let's see. Can we possibly? I'll try and take it a little higher anyhow. There we go. A little bit more out of the way. Not perfect. Not ideal. A little more doable. We have, just a refresh, I didn't get to this last night, I really wanted to. We have our Dell Inspiron. Dell Inspiron 235348 series. The motherboard got an administrator password lock. It was set in the BIOS. This nice old lady's computer. Nobody set a password. Nobody really gets on it. Kids once in a while, and an older son. I don't know the details. However, I do know the BIOS had an administrator password installed on it. We swapped the motherboard to avoid sending it to Dell. Now we're going to put another drive in it. The first thumbnail, the first time this was on the stream, this was blue across here saying about the administrator password. Keeping the same hard drive though, it did say that the data would be inaccessible, and I was hoping swapping the board would change it, but it didn't. Now we're back to not accessing the data. She has no data to speak of. What we're going to attempt, let's get our cables out of here, fair enough, and let's get some stuff to keep that nice screen safe. Get me little mats. Me little mats. One other thing is I may have rushed through the build-up of this, or I may not have. It may actually have a fan failure. If it does, we're going to see what we can do about saving or getting a fan to work. Alright, back shell off. Let's go to it. We have to check this fan here. It's saying that the cooling fan for the power supply has no spin. So we've got to open it back up. And I don't know if the hard drive is locked or if it is a consequence of like that drive blocked permanently, or I know the data is inaccessible. I do. Oh, I guess we're stuck there with it. Sorry. I do know the data is inaccessible, but even plugging it in as an external, that does no good. So she says there's no data. Let's format it and see if we can use this drive. If not, we've got another spare here, not identical, but nonetheless a new drive. So worst case scenario, if it fails, this fails because the board sees the drive is encrypted and not the actual data. I don't know how Dell does it with the Dell Security Manager thing, but we're prepared in both cases. Before we move on to that, let's check the few other screws here. And we got to get into where this fan is and see why. What is the issue? Why no power? Why, fan? We like how you spin. Keep it cool in there. You keep the power supply. Keep it calm and collected and real cool. Pretty sure we don't need to tear this out, but let's see. Does it give us a hint about the fan and where it plugs in? No, it does not. Alright. Trim piece has to come out. We got to remove that plate to see this is where our fan plugs in. One, two, three, and four. We should have some access to this. Unless there, you know what? I wonder if there's a fan in this unit. We should check that as well. But being that the fan's here and it has this little piece of ductwork that takes the air right from the output on the fan, the outlet, and ducts it right in. I see it being that one. Let's check. Is it plugged in? Is the fan plugged in? Where does the power go? It goes right there. And it is saying no. Whoa. It's saying no power for you. Well, let's fire this thing up and check right here, right in our face, where we can see it. Let's turn it on, see what spins and what doesn't. I want to verify. Is it a bogus message, or can we trust it? Let's switch over to that camera. We'll get rid of the shilling for a while. No hard drive. So now what that looks like is it spins, but that means nothing. There's a dot here. We're going to color it. There's a dot here. We're going to color it. Illustrative purposes. And those dots kind of disappear. from what I can tell, the fans are working. So that message with sound. Okay, we're back. 185 watt. 185 watt power supply this thing is pushing out. That is next to nothing. And I'm saying there's no chance of a fan internally in this thing. Let's take another look at it. No. There's no fan in there. I know they make them that small. Don't think they don't. They do have fans much smaller than need be to fit in there. However, that's simply not the case here today. Let's go ahead and put our screws back in. Get this thing back together and get it ready to go for this nice lady. We gotta look under this corner here. Sadly, we'll have to take the other 3 screws back out. There is something prohibiting, and I hope not a wire. I hope we didn't pinch a wire, but hey. something prohibiting the screw from going in as easy as the other three. Which, no wire underneath. There is a wire underneath, but there's no chance of getting to it. I think it's just a matter of not cross-threading, the hole in this plate not being lined up with a screw hole. Let's go ahead and wind one of that screw in first. Much better that time around. Okay. The fan looks like it's working. However, what we're going to do is leave the back off this and we'll stand it up. Dell, you're going to have to stand on your own. No feet today. You have to stand up, be loud and proud of your own merits and beliefs. Okay, let's go for, put this back. What else do we need? What are we missing here? We're missing trim plate. Dell, don't let me down. This is, I preach about your brand all the time. I do. One of my favorite manufacturers. Don't fail me now, Dell. Alright, first off, we're going to format it and see what happens. And let's see if they use some tactic of having this show up as a raw file system when encrypted. I doubt it. I doubt they're using that tactic, but I wouldn't be surprised. Right, oh no, we need the Samsung drive. Okay, so even with Disk Manager and another program, no Partition Manager, it cannot read that there's a drive there at all. It's just not seeing it. Just because, let's try one thing further. We're going to try a different SATA to USB cable, just to be sure that it's not that. It is Wednesday. What if both failed on the same day, right? Alright, we have power to the drive. We have the light lit saying that there is something plugged in. Can't even see it. So guess what? We get to keep this drive, or give it to her, keep it safe. It's not even an issue. Unreadable. Okay, so there you have it. That answers the question. I first-hand experience now. Dell Security Manager on a system, when you lock it with an administrative password, if you change out the board, you're still asked for a password with the drive. If it was set up to protect the data on the drive. So the data, whatever's there, will stay there. We can't access it. I just try to, disk management within Windows, and then also O&O Partition Manager. It's safe for now. Let's put some initials on this drive so we know whose it is. We don't want it to get lost in the shuffle. And if somebody comes forth with, hey, I set a password, we can get that one unlocked and make it usable. For now, let's get our unallocated space or unpartitioned drive into the computer. All right. What is not lining up there? I'm not crazy, right? SATA is SATA? Is that right? Okay, are we being trolled? It definitely plugs in. But not in the dock. Well, let's try it again. Felt like Dell was trolling us right there. Saying not in this lifetime, bucko. And there it goes. It was just being difficult. do our batteries. You know what? We may just be working with a bunch of dead batteries today. If that's the case, we'll unmute our good mic. Alright, we're going to try and get into the change setup option. Press F2 to run onboard diagnostics. Press F5 key to continue. F2 takes us to setup options. Let's get in there. Does it go out? 100% no. Alright, back above. Service tag, asset, BIOS downgrade. We need to go through the settings, boot sequence. Alright, we just set up from legacy to UEFI. We're going to allow legacy option ROMs. Date time is holding, so the battery's good. System config. Security and secure boot. And that's the screen where they did us in with the password, whoever did it. Secure boot is disabled for now. We will enable that after we get the operating system installed. Alright, everything looks good. Let's exit here and let it change and go for boot devices, which we did not bother installing. One-time boot menu. Power supply fan failure. Again, I'm not liking that. And that fan is 100% spinning. Maybe we do need to check the power supply. We're going to monitor it for heat to see if there's a way to clear it from the system. We're going to continue with F1. Boot to SanDisk. Go to our Windows 64-bit setup. It's sad sometimes when you see these computers. Like, I've seen so many new computers that will have 32-bit Windows installed, and it's like, why? Who did this? Because it didn't come from the factory like that. You gotta wonder. I wonder, anyways. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. There's about 99.9% chance of room for error. Our power supply fan is looking good. So far, so good. Let's continue on with our Windows setup. We're going to say, I do not have a product key. Does this thing have a sticker on it? Ten home. Here's our unallocated drive. Just going to hit next, let it figure out its boot partition size on its own, and start installing. We still have this messy affair to work on while that is doing whatever it's doing. So let's make some room for it and take a look-see. All it is a power button, and we can get the install or reinstall of Windows going for this thing as well. $33, $34. We're going to take a look here just quickly at the power button for this thing. Whenever we press up here, it does move. So let's go ahead and unlock that. We'll see if we can touch the focus there, and then we'll lock the focus. Okay, we can see that moves out when we hit that, and then where we need that to hit is actually right here, that little button. However, when the computer's together, it just doesn't want to do it. Neither one of these top cases, the new one that we replaced or the old one, has no record of like something that would be under keys that you type on. Where did I even put that? I don't know if I put it anywhere. I thought I did, but I probably knocked it down. I had one, I pulled one out specifically to show, but it basically is the little rubber cup that sits under the key that makes the key spring back up. This is well supported, and when you press it down, you can feel it click. So perhaps it just was not together. We'll put it back together and give it a second go. We're at 86% on our install. $97. Wow, that's a quick reboot. Or a quick installer. I like it. Dell, I like your speed. I like your speed, Dell. Stay impressive, stay quick. I can see the power button there. You hit it. Is that a reboot? Yes, it is. Let's take our media out. And like you can feel it hit the button, but it's just doing nothing. Again, we have another power supply fan failure. That fan is rolling along, so we are going to definitely check that power supply. Wasn't the plan for today, but we need to believe in this Dell. We don't want it to let us down, let her down. So do what we have to with it. Windows is starting up. I'm going to get that install done, and then we'll move on to... Okay, with a power cable plugged in, I'm going to hold this together to simulate being screwed together, and hit our power button. I'm convinced there's a piece missing there. We're going to double-sided clear tape stick a little rubber cup there to give the press on that soft touch switch. We're going to have it under. It's going to have to be a small one from an old scrap keyboard, but I think that's what it's calling for, because as soon as you open this up, okay, and you can hit the switch by hand, this thing, unless that has got to be the dumbest setup. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. There's a little rubber, has to be a little rubber cap missing. Ooh, look at that flashy display. I'm not kidding, it's flashing. Let's get something to put in there. Alright, this keyboard. Sorry, my friend. Nobody has come to get any keys from you in quite some years. But seeing how they already got some keys, let's take. Will it focus? That's what I was talking about. Little rubber cap that is responsible for pressing when you type on a keyboard. There's a side profile holding the tweezers, but yes, you get the idea. So let's get it started. We got to put this in there on that switch and see, is it going to work? We physically can't even reset this computer because of the admin permissions being that messed up. Like, he's got no permissions, no rights to do anything. He can't even install any, like, if you try and install an app and you get to a point where your screen dims and it comes up with the yes or no box that you want to allow this app to make changes to your computer, you can't even say yes. I'm sorry, but it's not happening. You know, it can't happen. The yes box isn't grayed out. It's missing completely. I don't know that this one is the right size. However, we will try for another one if we have to. Let's go ahead and set this together without moving that. I'm going to set the power button side in first. Okay, and let's see if we get any type of results now with pressing our power button. We're not even going to need to plug it in really, I don't think. We should get something. And yes, you do. You have feedback at least. Whether it's working or not is another story. And it does turn on by pressing the button. So a little rubber cap was missing. We'll test this a few times to see. Turn it on, shut it back off. Wow, that looks really bad. It looks horrible. Horrible. Look at you. Disgusting. Chromatic aberration. Awful. Figure video, we don't have access to nothing. We could take our hue off. We got a pink laptop now. Look at it. Look at it. Not quite as pink, a little purple. Green? Green could be your color too, maybe. Yeah, there's no control over video for fixing that graininess. I think it's the lens, I really do. Seriously. Alright, this is good to go. We're going to put the screws in the bottom. Wi-Fi appears to be ready to connect, so no real concern there. What is the short? Three short ones across the front. And perhaps a fourth in the middle, long ones on the other edge. Everything appears to be back together with our little 11-inch Inspiron. Rebuilt, not this is have fun. Continue reading what you were. I think I don't know what it's used for. In reality, I know what I would use it for. This would be like my on the go, just need to email or check a web page type thing. Okay, so what we don't want though is if the cup's too big and it is pressing the switch itself. That's not going to be a good thing, and that looks like it could be the case. back to it. Let's find a smaller cap. I know right where there's some perfect candidates. Is it missing keyboard or is it the other one? It is the other one. Where did you go?
Control and Enter keys at the same time to turn on narrator.
Cortana's back.
Okay, enough intro. Let's dig in.
And yeah, we have this mini micro that
Your
is
region is set to the United States. Is that right?
half the size of the other one. Yes, that's right. Oh my goodness.
Your keyboard is set to US. Want to stick with that?
Nope. Yes.
Do you also type with another keyboard layout? Now we have some important setup to do.
We're talking with Cortana. Whoever's done this. I've never done it by talking.
Now let's see what's new from Windows.
Not a lot. Promise you. Not a lot.
Type your email address or phone number, then follow the instructions to sign in. I'll catch up with you once that's done.
Let's see if we can... Well, you know what? We know whose computer this is. we're making her a new email. So we're gonna actually, what happens? Can we clone this out? No, not yet. Not till we get to the desktop. So let's try her actual email first. Okay. So let's create an account.
Let's get an account going for you. You can use your own email address.
I'm sorry. Equal 4. We're gonna put a number in. Alright, so sorry about the blackness. We had to. Oh, here we go. What else? July. I hate all this information putting Microsoft account in. It is way too much info to way too much. Yeah, right. Oh, very tedious setting this stuff up. Oh, a pin. Boy, I don't know. Yeah, sure, we can do that. Let's do it. Let's create a pin real quick. Watch them not match. Alright, we want to get into Windows, run the updates through real quick, and then we're going to take our little rubber cap. We're going to pull that back out. Get instant access to your Android phone's photos, text notifications, and more. No thank you. What? All these features are up to the user to set up if they want to use. Whoa. Oh, getting some drivers going. Okay, I thought the screen. Do it later. Okay. Only save files to this PC. We're not going to do the OneDrive thing. That's annoying. Cortana, we will use you. You've been a help so far. We believe in you. The activity history. We'll accept your spyware terms. Spy on us. Tell Microsoft what we're doing. Alright. Here's a comparison real quick of the size of what we're dealing with. So one is much, much smaller than the other. Size-wise and height-wise, it's about half the height. So let's go ahead and put that on, see if that's going to trigger our power button without turning the computer on and off like the much bigger rubber cap. Something was there. I don't know what the person could have possibly lost, but something was definitely there before it was worked on. Now I guess we just got to find out what. That's roughly the same size as the power switch. Let's test it with it. Actually, we'll close it and put one screw in here on this corner. We're not going to keep screwing, unscrewing this thing, wasting time. We're going to test this, get this switch working how it should be. Possibly one in the middle as well. Not the middle down the side. That will pull the sides of our computer together enough right here, and we can see if it turns on and off like it was. Or do we just get a nice little click? We got the click. It turned on. I think that's more along the lines of the right size. I don't know what was in there. Some seconds. We'll let it finish. Press escape to stop testing. We're going to escape. Actually, I don't have any patience for that. Let's see where that goes. We are up to Windows on a little all-in-wonder here. We're going to start the updates, install a few default programs. Before updates finish, though, right away we're going to go in and set a restore point. Excuse me, hiccup there. First things first, set a restore point, and we got a good spot to go back to. Configure, let's turn it on. System protection, apply, okay. Create. Mouse over, create it, let it do that, and continue with our Dell. What? Phone order? What? Trying to decipher messages here, people, sorry. Alright, restore point was good. Let's close that. Secondly, we'll check our device manager. All should be well. And I think Well, we don't want to clone it out. Let's duplicate it. Keep them changes. There we go. I can see what's going on here. Everything appears to be good. We're going to go to Dell's website and get some drivers, see if there's some current date ones. This is not an old computer, but not G3226 or 7th gen Pentium, I think. 8 gigs of RAM, 64-bit. Windows is not activated. We do need to activate that. No product key found. Do we actually? Did we get a computer? I don't see any stickers on this. Is it a possibility this came with Windows 7? What's on our trim plate? I'm sorry, but that looks like a Windows 8 sticker. There should be a product key in the BIOS for that. Attention? No. Okay, I understand. Cool. It is a touchscreen too. Nice. Just noticed it. Okay, let's get updates going. We will activate here. Check it for updates. A lot of updates coming in, people. A lot of updates. So I think we can safely leave it. We can safely leave it there. The system fan failure. I actually had a computer that had a fan failure, and that was the only thing that ever happened to it. Nothing else went wrong with it. And I think, which one was that? That was an all-in-one. It aged out. It got scrapped. I stopped using it after a few years. So, if that's the only error, I'm going to the install and start it on this. First and foremost, we're going to put it back together though. Make sure our power button remains functioning. Yeah, I wondered why both palm rests, the power button would not work, and clearly there is a piece missing off of that power switch. So, there you have it. We're going to go into the system setup here, get this going, and head out of here for the day. Oh, Sunday. That was a mockery of a live stream. Something just wasn't right, and it clearly showed, because the SD card actually, it failed to a point when we were recording the podcast Sunday. It failed to a point where it let the recorder record. You can create a new folder, create new files on the SD card. until, and the file will stay there till you close that window or go back and then come back in, like go back and then forward again. The file disappears. It's a Patriot card. It shows up like it's write protected. No, it's not. The little switch. I've already checked that. I already checked everything I know how to do to get that write protection off. So the card works. I can use the data that's on it, access it, but Sunday's show was just never recorded. I mean, it recorded the show, but then instantly disappeared after it tried writing it. So, whoopee! We're gonna record a show today. That mockery show is gonna live on the internet and on the internet alone. Unless I pull the audio from it and edit that, but it's gonna be tough with that AC in. Let's use a USB device. Is that a, I think that's the system hard drive, not the USB drive here, but maybe. I could be wrong. F12, we don't want. Let's enter setup. We're going to go in and check our secure boot and all that. Disable legacy option ROMs. I'm going to hit yes. Enable the UEFI. Yes. And we want our F12. It maybe power on, power off again. I don't know. It looks like it. Looks like it's the case. That was an awesome click, but now that the rest of the screws are in, it is can actually see it there. On and off. Well, we're going to find a fix for it. That's clearly not going to work. I mean, we need to restart now. Restart. Let's undo these two screws and see. Looking at the teardown, looking at everything and anything absolutely you can find, that I could find, I did not see any little rubber cap or any little switch. I thought there was one missing, because usually switches like that have something on top for them to hit. Well, let's try it now. This is very weird, like one of the screws going in is responsible for it not turning on or off. Let's do this. We're going to open the side and drop our little rubber cap, hopefully, unless it's stuck. If it's stuck, I'm okay with that. What a nightmare. Yes, it did. It's 100% stuck, but stuck in the wrong location, not on our power switch at all. We're going to actually pull it out and see. Can we force the switch on? What's the real story? Let's screw this thing together. and see if we can force it to turn on. And we have a fan message to deal with now on this big thing. Because, oh, phone. Come on, man. I don't have all the answers. Okay. Crisis averted. Well, welcome back to the self-mockery show. We've failed multiple times with this one blue thing we're working on here. We're using some kind of little spinner with the whatever to, you know, to not turn on. I don't know if you can see this or not. Let's see if we can show the refresh of this thing without any lights. We'll try and dim it out somewhat. Can you tell? Can you see that flashing? That's not me doing anything. That's legit. That is it just. There. Back to it. Alright, our computer's back up. What do we do? Take screws out one by one and see which one coming out lets it turn on. Not a good plan at all. Alright, so it is still currently flashing away. We're going to attempt to hit our power button. Hold it down. And then we will hit it to see if it'll turn back on, or does it need, it's like a symptom of like a dead battery, but I don't want to say that because if it just turns on from hitting that, I'm not going to even believe it. no longer flashing. Let's plug it in and try that again. So, accurately, we got a new palm rest keyboard, we got a DC jack, we have an AC adapter, and now possibly a battery? Like, or just a dead corrupted board, man. Nope, there it goes. Back on. Okay. I say it's going to be very sketchy, and I don't think this thing will ever be perfect or new again. I advised against repairing it in the first place, but it is what it is at this point. Where's our USB? Over here, we need to restart. And start up from that. We're getting the 1809 update on this one, so not bad. Not bad. I'm going to restart and try to boot from our install media. That's what we wanted. Let's load our setup. Alright, well, one installed, ready to go. This is going to go out. Updates can finish at the house. We generally finish from here, but she really wants her computer back. I've got to research into the fan thing. Is there a fix? I hope so. I hope it's just easy, because as you can see, unless there's a fan internally, that fan is humming away. Both of them are. I don't believe there's an internal BIOS fan, but we're going to check that out. The next time this thing restarts, we're shutting it down. What else? What else? What else? Get out of there. Let's take a look real quick. I just thought of something. It's a DC jack. Power button is not working. Is that this little thing? Looks like it. That's the board we're looking for. It has the folded up cable. There's our power switch. So yeah. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Okay, that's what's missing. I thought it was a, wow, okay. Okay. Um, oh my. Do we even have any of those here, I'm wondering? It has been a while since I've seen one of those on a computer. It genuinely has. The older the better, maybe, perhaps? That is a switch that has a cap on it. It's like a soft touch, like a tact switch almost. I'm not so certain that. How did he rip the top part of the button off? That's what I'm really very curious about. How on earth did he rip the top part of that button off? That's what I'm super interested in right now. So let's take a look. I accept. I accept. I accept your terms. Damn it. Let me accept your terms. Custom install, Windows only, advanced. Sure. Let's start deleting some stuff, and we have. I'm fairly certain it's the proper size power button. So reserved 650. Where is. Okay, there's the OS. It's only a 32 gig drive. And then we're going to take a look here at our. You can actually kind of see right now. Look at that for a moment. That is right there, that button right there. Now, if we rip that top cap off with that little trigger button, that's what's missing from the top of that switch. I didn't realize it till looking at it. I thought it was a different kind of switch until I pulled up the power board here and saw this exact thing right there. That is basically what we're looking at there. A different power board for a different laptop, but we just need the top part of the switch. If we can move that over, and it's basically just stuck down, possibly? I don't know. But we're going to try it. Let's find out what we can do about it. right now we got this install going, so we'll get this going. That update can continue, and we'll try and rip the lid off of that power switch. Right now we're just deleting partitions. We have this all in one block in the AC. Alright, we have probably 5 or 6 of these laying scrap, so we're going to see if we can delid this switch. How did, it should just literally be clamped down on there. Preferably. It would be awesome if I didn't stab myself in my hands, but that's happened before. Maybe it's just literally just sitting on there. I don't remember tearing one of these apart in the past. However, again, it looks similar, but maybe it isn't. We need the little button that's in there. If it didn't fly away, which we got the button, and we got the lid. Now we need to wait and see. See, right now the power switch that is in there, let's take another look at this. That resembles very, very close to what's sitting in there, and you have to press that center part. I thought that was what the switch was. Like, I didn't know that what we were looking at was actually that with the button, the little clicky button. So we got our lid off. We have our button, and we have the lid from the one power switch. We're going to see if we can put them on this one. Throw them in the cup to wait for this install to finish, and we can power it down. After it's good to go, we can power it down and try and get the power switch working properly. I thought it was the kind that had a rubber cap on, or maybe like it's like a little plastic like ball that sits on there, but no, it's one that it's like an actual tack switch that has the metal lid with the clicky button. Hey, Google, best tool ever invented. You can check out crazy stuff, learn crazy things. Aside from that, it can help you do your job, your hobby, your passion. We are requiring a restart here while our install is going. We're not going to open it up. We have the screws out already. We'll sit and wait. We'll wait for this to finish up. The little power switch thing. Now, don't get me wrong. It could have worked with that rubber thing if we had one the proper size, but we would need something super small. You saw the size of that button that goes in that metal lid. And even our smallest rubber thing here is massive compared to that little tack switch. So, wish us luck. Anyhow, that's where that is. I'll post an update on this possibly later. This one's going to get wrapped up. I'm going to move on. I have another 2 to start on. I got to research the fan error on this, which is sad that it comes up with that. Maybe I need to go in. I don't know what all is possible by going into the BIOS and putting in the service tag and all that and doing a test, and who knows. All I know is, according to this, the fan is running. It's back there spinning. So, yeah. Anyhow, have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's going to be one of those when you check this out. Enjoy it. If this is the stuff you're doing, the stuff you're into, keep it up, share it, spread it. If somebody else needs it done, give them a hand. If you're that guy, that girl, I believe in you. I know you can fix it. I know you're not going to fail like my repeated failures. Spread it, man. Help them get it fixed. Get their device going. And again, as always, thank you for clicking that link and coming over, hanging out, getting your hands dirty. I appreciate you.